Arsenal thrashed Atletico Madrid in what was an incredible win in Europe to continue this amazing winning streak. Now, in my opinion, Martin Zubimendi was the best player on the pitch, and yet again, he has defined expectations and brought in more quality and decisiveness to this Arsenal team, which I think is amazing. But what is that? Let's get into it. Now, first of all, I know there's a lot of players we could have spoke about in this game, and I'm sure we will do over the next coming days. Big shout outs to players like Woklz, obviously Victor Woklz, and of course Gabriel Martinelli for fantastic second halves each. But every single player on the day did their job, and we were fantastic against one of the better teams in Europe, which we deserve a lot of credit for. Now, the reason why I want to talk about Martin Zubimendi is because when I was watching the game, every single time he got the ball, I genuinely felt that Arsenal were going to create a chance. He was picking the ball up anywhere on the pitch. If you look at his heat map, of course, yet again, it's more dictated to this right-hand side where he is playing with Rice on that left side, but he does just move about in different positions. There's times where he's picking the ball up in left sides. There's times where he will come into the channel to help a player out and work with them inside. And he's just such an intelligent player that he picks up positions that always help us. Now, one of the big ways that this is shown is through the build-up. I think Zubimendi in this game is someone that is just so good in these European games against these sort of teams that are especially going to come out against us, that are going to press us a little bit. We saw the same against Olympiacos, because Zubimendi doesn't just sit still. We know none of our midfielders do, but he's so intelligent with his movement. He'll have one little moment where he'll come deeper and receive the ball in an area where he has to make that longer pass or the pass through. But there's also times where he just loses his marker. He goes left, he goes right, he comes up to the wing sometimes. And the thing is, when he receives the ball in these deeper areas when we're building up, he is super calm. Like we all know, Rice is the guy that wants to receive it in them spaces because he can either do a long pass over to the wings or he can drive into space. Not really tight areas, that's more of obviously a Woklz thing. Now, Zubimendi is not someone that is necessarily going to carry it all the time. He's not going to carry it into space. He will rather find a pass, but there has been times when he has carried it as well. But the thing that I see with Zubimendi is that when he gets the ball, he's not only incredibly composed, but he just keeps the ball incredibly well and is able to pass it off fantastically. This really helps us, I think, in them tighter areas where you have Zubimendi maybe lone six in a deeper area by himself and Rice is pushed up. And when the ball is quickly into him, you want him to get it out of his feet and be able to put that blast through, which he does quite a lot often. And we have spoke about it, when he's in these deeper pockets, already it gives Arsenal a different approach to going forward because he is just so much more willing to pass it down to the left-hand side. Now, not always, there's a lot of passes he still would rather prefer this right hand side, and I think most of our first half attacks came from this side because that's where we got the space. But if he sees Rice pushing up, if he sees the Eze's come deeper for that pass, he will put the ball into them. He's not afraid to do any pass on the pitch, and his aggressive nature to always get the ball forward sometimes can be a detriment to Arsenal, but in games like this it was an incredible big benefit, which was fantastic to see. And one of the things that I probably didn't really expect Zubimendi to have really much when he came into the side, but when he is this deeper player for Arsenal, when the ball is kind of cleared to him, when we've got a lot of players up there, maybe from a set piece, maybe from a very big attack where a lot of players have gone forward, Zubimendi is so willing to put that ball quickly into the wings or into attacking position. A lot of the time this hasn't really worked for Arsenal, and I think it ball bounces out, we don't really get it, but it's so interesting that he's not really a player that wants to bring the ball down, calm it down. When we've got our throttle on the gas and we've got players in the box, just put it in there. He does it so much, which is really cool. But I will say it, I think Zubimendi right now is probably the best passer that we have in the club, and I think he's one of the best passers we have in the club, probably since Ozil, but in all phases in a very long time, probably out of anyone else. And the reason why I say that is because Martin Zubimendi finds passes, especially attacking all the time, just looks so easy. He is willing to put his body on the line and risk these passes all the time down any single channel. We have seen a lot of the time where Woklz picks the ball up with a player behind him and gives the ball away, and most of the time it is usually Zubimendi putting that ball into him, trusting him with that pass and giving him that experience even when we don't need to. And although this is beneficial from build up and these sort of deeper areas, we're really starting to see the best of it in the final third, which is not something that people really were accustomed to with Zubimendi coming in as supposedly a 6, but he is a bit of an 8-6 hybrid. And all the time it's not only the fact he wants to do 1-2s, he will take them risks, but when he comes comes into these deeper areas, we have seen how good he is with these little passes over the top. His technical ability is fantastic. Now I want to throw it back straight to the one against Newcastle, where he puts the ball little chip over for Timber, who makes a good header, and it's a great save by Pope. Now that really reminds me of the one that I thought was fantastic in this game. He comes into the pocket, he receives the ball, and out of nothing, he just flicks the ball up on his right foot, onto his right foot again, where he puts the ball over to Woklz, who ends up getting a shot just in front of Oblak, who does a good save coming out brilliantly. But this chance is not a chance in my opinion. This is not even an effort that Arsenal really create or look like we're going to pass the ball through, and suddenly Zubimendi has that pass through, and Woklz is always alert, always ready, and is there to try and get a shot in. It didn't work, but if that went in, that goal would have been fantastic, and Zubimendi does that so much. There is times where he is the third or fourth extra man when we've got a lot of pressure and we've got a lot of players in the box, and he comes down to this right hand side to do a brilliant cross first time into the box. Now we saw the same cross actually against Bilbao in the friendly before the Premier League season kicked off, where Woklz scored a header. We saw the same cross in this game in the first half, where it's a great cross again. It just doesn't quite work out for us in this moment, but Zubimendi can literally be that backup player in any of these situations, and he's not a guy that you pass the ball back just outside the box to calm it down and let's go again, find somewhere else to attack. He's a guy that will just spin the ball straight back to where it came from and give you something to think about, give us more chaotic nature, give us more presence in the box. And I think in terms of the players that we've bought, Eze, Woklz, wanting that more direct approach, wanting more balls into the box like that, I think it just offers a lot of things. And I think the biggest thing about all of this is that not only is Zubimendi not doing the same skills, same sort of movements, same passes all the time, he keeps it fresh. This is why in the second half we saw a lot of the time he actually moved down to this left hand side. In the first half it was mostly the right, where he worked with Saka, and I thought Saka was fantastic in the first half, but in the second he was coming down to the left, putting balls through and being fantastic, and it was becoming a big thing. And nothing more shows that than the third goal that we actually scored against Atletico Madrid. We do yet again brilliant to put the ball out to Miles Skelly in build up here. We kind of bait them into one situation. Miles puts the ball inside, which is eerily similar to when Zubimendi puts the ball inside to Miles for the second goal, which yet again both of these players are willing to take the risk with each other. And straight away, instead of being that carrier like we saw Miles was in that second goal notion, he puts the ball over the top brilliantly to Martinelli, who puts the ball in, and obviously we get a rebound. It goes in by Woklz for the first goal in a long time. And I love that adaptation of not really having Zubimendi and Miles rotate with each other and work with them sort of inside runs, so we got a passer and more of a carrier, but it just shows how good his passing level was. This pass is not easy, and he does it first time and makes it look easy on the day, and straight away it's perfect. We get a goal from it yet again from Zubimendi, who could have easily played a calmer pass and not really thought about that attack, but he's always trying to get the team forward, and that tempo change has been vital for Arsenal in the last month, where we have been utterly fantastic. And defensively, I still want to talk about him because he is still majority the lone six over Rice. He plays a lot deeper than Rice in many of these games. He is the guy that is tasked with winning the ball back from these second balls and keeping it in these areas. And we've seen in the past him actually being very good in the air. His jump is insane. A lot of the talk before he joined was when players ran past him, he's not necessarily the quickest player that is always going to be able to come back. Now, he isn't necessarily the quickest player, but he's smart with his movements. He doesn't commit to things that he knows that will be a big detriment if he doesn't get there. In defensive areas, I think he's very much a secure player and a calm player, which is the complete opposite of him in the final third, where he's chaotic and wants to create. But there's so many times where the ball is past him, he comes back, nips in and gets a little toe to the ball. Now, he did this a few times in this game. This is actually where he picks up his yellow card, which in my opinion is not a yellow. I think yet again we keep seeing the referees in Europe give free kicks away for things that I just don't think are free kicks. I think his consistency is awful, and that will mean he misses the Slavia Prague game, which I think he probably would have been rested anyway because he has played a lot of football. But this sort of nifty play, this tackling as a lone six is incredible. Not only I think does it give Rice more freedom, it gives Miles more freedom to do anything he wants. He was fantastic in this game as well. It just keeps the team so much fresh, and I loved the second half. I think this second half Arsenal were fantastic. I think Zubimendi was great all game, but the fact that he was using that left hand side a lot more than we've seen other players in the past use was really good. And if a few bounces went his way, he would have got a couple of assists in this game, which is incredible for a player in his position. Now, of course, we're going to go through his stats just to kind of show what we are talking about. He made 41 out of 46 accurate passes, which is actually quite high for Martin Zubimendi. He does miss a lot of passes because, like we said, he's always going for these crazy passes, these crazy assists, these crazy attack and plays, which is not always going to come off, and it doesn't a lot of the time. But the fact he's always willing to do that means that it is what we needed, and that has been a massive change to Arsenal as a club. But you see the combination of it here. 3 chances created, a 0.61 expected assists in this game, while also making 7 defensive contributions. You know, he made his cross, he made his 2 accurate long balls, he made a dribble in this game as well, while making 5 passes into the final third. And not only is that attack and work brilliant, but it's the defensive work as well. 2 tackles, 3 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 2 interceptions and 2 recoveries, while winning 4 out of 6 ground duels as well. This is a player that can do everything on the pitch, and he has become an elite in all these different phases. And I know many of us Arsenal fans aren't going to disrespect Zubimendi, we aren't going to look down on him. We know how great he has been over the last couple of months, and he's been getting better and better every game. But I feel like overall it's a signing that not many people talk about because of the fact it happened so long ago, and it was announced in January basically, and then it finally happened. But it's incredibly vital signing for the club to have, and I hope he stays fit, because as long as he does, Arsenal are doing much more, and at least going forward we look so much better. I'm super happy with Martin Zubimendi, super happy with this game. It was brilliant. Now let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I might be doing another video later about a certain someone. But I appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you in the next one.